Madam Presidents, executive staff members, honorable delegates, HMUN directors, student officers, press members, and guests. It is my honor to welcome you to the 12th annual session of Haarlem Model United Nations on this beautiful April morning. For 12 years, students of the State Convention Haarlem have organized this conference, and it's always been visited by a large number of schools, from the Netherlands and of course from abroad. Every year, more and more students travel to Haarlem to participate in the conference, and this year we are pleased to see an even higher amount of participants than ever before. I am proud to be standing here and address this opening speech to you on behalf of the full HMUN organization. I would like to start with a small introduction to this year's theme, written by the Bosnian author in her book The Lost Voices. She describes a number of conflicts that are currently raging on, or conflicts that have settled down and left long-lasting scars. Wars are like severe diseases, like poverty, like all those things we know are happening in this world, but of which we think they will never cross our path. As a natural way to protect ourselves, we rather disregard the laws and consider them as part of others far from us, in our belief and steady confidence that we will never encounter them. Wars can happen to all of us, people with expectations, desires and problems, where and whenever we live, all of us. That brings me to the theme of this year's conference, reconciliation in regional conflicts. We have chosen this theme in order to put special focus on conflicts in the world, in accordance with the International Year of Reconciliation, the year 2009. It's idle hope to think a conflict will end by itself. Every conflict has its own background, its own history, its own story. Overpowering others, imposing different political ideas that eventually collide, religions that fundamentally disagree. The roots of the conflict can be hidden in years and years of apparent tranquility. History recalls how people struggled to live in peace and freedom, how they fought to rid themselves of their oppressors, and how hard it is to force people to live in one nation when they are not culturally bound, and they do not share the same language, religion, ethnic background, or political ideas. Everyone can name the example of artificial states that try to force their ideal system upon its people and failed to achieve their goals. Memorizes the difficulties that the former Republic of Yugoslavia had in order to be a strong and vital nation with so many ethnic groups and so many differences. It is an example of a country where the underlying nationalistic forces have caused people to adhere to one another and long for their own independent states. Nationalism has proven to be the cause of many conflicts, as we have witnessed over the past centuries. As a Dutchman, I was taught how in the 17th century we fought against the Spanish to create our own nation because of our own past experience and nationalistic feelings. Nationalism influences our history so intense that we cannot try to resolve conflicts without keeping their roots in mind. As a simulation of the United Nations, we try to focus on and zoom in on the conflicts, the roots of conflicts all around the world. We shouldn't say how people must act and react, but we should try to give them a platform for reconciliation. We should stop pointing the finger at others or try to control the conflict that's outside us. We should create this platform and let them be able to talk and listen to each other, with nor their own judgments nor those of others. Today, we can see the troubles and fears some countries have to hand over even some of their national sovereignty to bigger organizations. We can see how the government of a nation is willing to become part of the bigger picture, while its people voted against. These are more peaceful examples of a force called nationalism, which, combined with fear to hand over sovereignty, can have an enormous effect on a group or individual. However, it is even harder to see how these underlying forces cause so many conflicts. Conflicts between different groups within a nation or between nations. Conflicts that affect an entire region and that influence the situation of many, many people. In my eyes, there are a few historical examples of true reconciliation. In my eyes, it shows true strength when someone has the capability to forgive others after having been imprisoned for 27 years. And when someone can still look forward after 27 years and wants to work on a future for a nation with the same people that have worked against him because of his different political view, that is his true strength. Nelson Mandela is such an example for all of us. In his own words, and now I quote, "True reconciliation does not consist in merely forgetting the past." In my opinion, he meant that true reconciliation is not forgetting, but discussing the past. This offers a platform to unite past and future. That is what Mandela saw and said. So let Americans and Iranians be able to create diplomatic relations. Let African tribes work together and unite. Let Tibetans and Chinese live side by side in harmony. This may sound too bombastic, but the bottom line is that reconciliation is a long process. And it is only possible when we see our future role, instead of warring over old disputes. In any conflict, differences in opinion and policy are hard to overcome. But we have tried, by choosing reconciliation as our theme this year, to give you a challenge well worth a try. I will give it a try, and I hope you will do the same. Thank you, and I wish you all a happy conference.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. The moment has come to officially give a start to the conference. On behalf of the Secretariat, as the President, I hereby declare the 12th annual session of Haarlem Model United Nations open. Before we discuss the tower, please I have a compliment.